No new cases of COVID-19 in Muskoka. The district gets a major tourism boost from the province. And sweating for pets in Muskoka. All that and more coming up right now. Welcome to Cogeco News for June the 15th. I'm James Bowler with what's happening in your community. Well, it looks like Muskoka is back to avoiding any new infections as the current rate stays at 0 since last Monday. The last case reported, a woman in her 70s from Huntsville who was infected from within the community, is still in recovery, according to the health unit. There was a sharp increase overall within the health unit's infection rate, with 12 new cases reported in the Simcoe portion of the coverage area. And nurses across the province have had enough. With COVID-19 making their work even more dangerous, thousands of nurses have taken to social media to show their frustration about a pay raise they say is like a slap in the face. Melissa Candelaria has that story.
We're going to be there. We're going to do our jobs. We've been doing our jobs for the last 3 months. We just want some consideration for what we've been put through. I'm sorry. It just really hurts.
Moved to tears, registered nurse Laura Holmes is frustrated with the Ontario government over a bill that gave them a raise she says makes her and nurses across the province feel worthless. That bill is Bill 124, which Holmes says controls the pay raises for public employees.
What has ended up happening, though, is, from my perspective, is the only people that have gotten affected by it hard, where the pay raise and the benefits combined are 1%, are the nurses. Our pay raise was, in order to take into consideration the additional costs of the benefits because of the pay raise, they went and dropped our pay raise to 0.938 to make sure that they wouldn't go over the 1% that is identified in this bill that was passed in 2019.
Now with COVID-19, the work nurses have to do has become more dangerous. Motivated to do something, Holmes created the Ontario Nurses for Protest Facebook page that has seen almost 15,000 members join in just 3 days, and with more expected to sign up. Holmes says they are hoping this will inspire the government to make a change.
I understand that the bill was put in before COVID happened, but the government has a clause in there that they can exempt professionals from this bill. And I just think, considering the circumstances of the COVID, what we're doing, the sacrifices we're making, that if there's ever a time where somebody actually deserves to have an exemption to it, I think we've earned it. I get my son in his bedroom. He's 18, so he's older. I take my shoes off at the door. I literally run straight to the laundry, strip down naked, put all my clothes in the washer on hot with bleach. I've got some uniforms that are pretty colors from the bleach. Run upstairs completely naked and go into the shower as hot as I can and scrub down so that I don't end up infecting my son. It's like incredibly stressful right now, and everybody is just trying to do the very best they can. But it's like, that was just, if there was ever anything that felt like a kick in the stomach, a punch in the mouth, that pretty much did it.
Beyond the Facebook page, a protest in front of Queen's Park is in the works for next week. Holmes says they are trying to plan this so they follow social gathering rules and make sure it's done safely.
We're still trying to see if we can make this work, but we're hoping that we can maneuver something so that we can be at Queen's Park or on the sidewalks around Queen's Park, separated with face masks and protective equipment, and be there and just to let the public know that we need your help and we need you to help us get the message through to Doug Ford that, the fact that, nurses have died from this, and we go into work not knowing if we're going to come out sick, and that's kind of worth more than 0.938.
Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
We are going to take a quick break, but stay with us for more after this. Ontario's Minister of Heritage recently visited Muskoka, announcing a $350,000 investment in tourism marketing for the Parry Sound Muskoka region. Lisa McLeod says the money will be used by Explorers Edge, also known as RTO 12, to promote local restaurants, hotels and resorts, campgrounds, activities and attractions around the area. The funding is in partnership with Destination Ontario and Destination Canada. And speaking of tourism, Muskoka now has a seat at the table of Destination Ontario board, which focuses on the tourism sector for our province, as well as reaching out to a more international audience. Jesse Hamilton, the general manager of Deerhurst Resort, was recently asked to join the board. I spoke with him last week to find out about how having a local representative can benefit Muskoka.
So I'm very excited and sort of personally feel quite proud of being able to join the board of Destination Ontario. It was a result of doing some work as well with Norm Miller and he putting our name forward for that. So we're happy to be a part of it. I think what we bring to it is a voice outside of major city centres. Not that there isn't effort and energy being put into those areas, but the board now, I think that will give me an opportunity to represent resorts like us in areas like Muskoka as well. That's what I'm really most excited about it, and I think Destination Ontario is going to have a huge role to play right now in sort of returning things back to normal in Ontario. And the first thing that they're setting their sights on is making sure that people in Ontario know all about the things to do in Ontario so we can start to explore our province together again. That's going to be the first step of sort of recovery again. And so I'm really excited to be part of it.
Wine excellence in Huntsville has moved to a new location, which is steeped in the town's history.
Well, I know that the building had been recently bought by a group of gentlemen, and it was just, we love heritage buildings, and just it's so steeped in history, and it's so close to the water. It was kind of a no-brainer for us. It was love at first sight when we saw the building. We wanted to make sure that we captured a lot from the fact that it is the train station and has been here for so long. So we worked with the Train Station Society in Huntsville, and they provided us with all the old original pictures. They gave us a 100-year-old trunk from the Canadian Railway. There's an amazing map from 1891, I believe. So just really, we wanted to keep the history here and be able to showcase it as well.
Customer comes in, they make their selection as far as the wine, whether it's going to be a red wine or a white wine. We discussed the different types of options that they have as far as the levels are concerned. The levels have to do with how much water I ultimately end up adding into the kit itself. All of our kits make 23 liters of wine, so you get 30 bottles of wine at the end of the fermentation process. The fermentation process starts by the customer adding the yeast into the wine itself, and then either 4, 6, or 8 weeks later they come back to bottle their wine.
So one of the things that we really wanted to make sure that we did was capture local artists. The ceilings in this amazing building are so big that our walls are perfect to host artwork. So we have created a feature wall where we're going to be showcasing local artists' work and hopefully encouraging people to buy them.
And we've got a number of different styles of wine, whether it's a Riesling or a Cab Sauv or a Merlot. And we've partnered with Inspire Roasting Company, and what we've done is we've infused some of our own wine with some coffee, and we're really excited to give that a try.
Oh, it's been wonderful. Yes, it's been great. We have way more parking. It's not as hard to get out onto Main Street, and just everybody loves coming down here and seeing just the old building and the heritage, and mixed with the new shop. Definitely, we were considered an essential service, so we were open throughout and just continued to make wine.
We're taking another quick break, but stay with us for more after this. Welcome back. Well, earlier today I spoke with Radio Works News Director Tom Mangos about what's happening in Parry Sound.
So Tom, we haven't chatted with you in a bit, but just curious about what's happening in Parry Sound. I know there's been quite a bit happening, outside of the COVID-19 news. So we're checking in with you to see what's happening. So give me a bit of a rundown on what the big news is right now.
Well, the big news is really COVID related. It's an interview that I had last week with the West Parry Sound Health Center's Chief of Staff, along Dr. Terence Farger, as well as the CEO, Donald Sanderson. And it's about COVID-19 reporting in our region, reporting by the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit. And Dr. Farger said he's concerned because there are more cases of COVID-19 in the region than are being reported by the health unit. And what he cites, the reason for that being, is that visitors, let's say visitors that are coming up to their cottage and wind up being tested for COVID-19 at one of our facilities up here, whether it be the hospital or the assessment center, and they test positive for the virus. It's not reported by our health unit as a case that's here. It's reported to the primary residence of that person that has a cottage. So it really, it skews the numbers, and that's happening right across the province. And I thought that was a pretty big revelation.
It is a concerning fact, and it's something that's been happening here as well, and we've been requesting to have these numbers reported. The health unit's sort of explanation is that because they've gone back home to recover, then it's no longer reported here. But those people got sick here. They may have gone to stores here. It's a right for locals to know, right? So has the health unit responded to that at all in your section?
They did, and it's along the lines of what you've just said, is that they're aligning with the province of Ontario's policy. So there's really not a lot that the health unit can do about it. But it was a concern when I heard it, and it's a concern for Dr. Farger because of the fact that we have relatively a low case count of positive COVID-19 up here right now. As of today, it sits at 29, which is relatively low, and it may give somebody that intends to visit into the area, some sense of false confidence about coming up here. But it would even more concerning to the doctor was the fact that that person coming up here might not take the necessary precautions, things like social distancing and wearing a face mask where social distancing is impossible, because they figure that the region is so safe. So this is, I think, the main concern is to keep people vigilant, to say, well, even though it's a lower case count, doesn't mean that you can be lax about the precautions that you have to take. So that's one area. Another COVID-19 sort of related thing is our Wasauksink First Nation. They've eased restrictions. They are now allowing those that want to have cottages on the island and seasonal campers. The island is now open to non-residents of Wasauksink First Nation. It was a phased-in approach. It was first Parry Sound resident or Parry Sound region residents only were allowed to, and it's very strict guidelines, very strict restrictions before you can get back on the island. And then as of today, it's open to residents, just any resident outside the Wasauksink First Nation. So that's a positive sign on that.
Tom, just with the overall COVID-19 situation, what is the general feel in the population right now about this? Are you seeing more people out now? Does there seem to be more of a relaxed attitude?
I just spoke to a business owner, a downtown business owner in Parry Sound, and she's concerned. She owns a women's wear boutique, and she's not getting the traffic that she's expecting or should be getting. We're not getting the number of people that are out there, and we discussed the fact that all spring, everybody's been told stay away, stay home, don't come up to the cottage, and we are truly a tourist town. We rely on tourism, so people are still wary. People are still hesitant about coming up, and what this woman was telling me is that, especially in time-sensitive inventory, where she has a lot of things that weren't sold that were supposed to be sold in the springtime, and she's now left with that inventory, and it really is of no use to her. And it's a lot of things that you can't resell next year, and she's seeing vendors are offering major discounts on inventory, but what good is it if you're not going to be able to sell it? And we got into government aid and funding and CERB, and people are asking them, do I want to get myself in further debt? And even to the point where they're questioning the viability of their business. So there's still a lot of apprehension, James, through all of this. I know the positive stance that municipalities are taking and the province is taking, but from the grassroots level, from the business level, there's still a lot of concern.
I've heard from you reporting again. We've had 2 forest fires now reported in the Parry Sound area.
As of yesterday, there are 2 in the Magnetawan River Provincial Park area. Each of them are less than a hectare in size. As of my reporting yesterday, they were not under control. We're just waiting for the latest update from the MNRF that usually comes around 5:30 in the afternoon to see the status of those fires.
All right. Well, Tom, we'll keep updated on what's happening in Parry Sound through Radio Works, and really appreciate you taking the time to update us on the Parry Sound situations.
Well, thank you for having me, James.
Well, we're taking another break, but stay with us for more after this. Well, while it's not open just yet, the OSPCA Muskoka Animal Center is hoping you'll support the ongoing need to help pets looking for forever homes with Sweat for Pets.
So the Ontario OSPCA Muskoka Animal Center is currently still closed for regular operation. We are in the process of formulating our new operational model and hope that we will be resuming adoptions before too much longer. In the meantime, we are really excited to be launching a new fundraiser called Sweat for Pets. And we've had to cancel a number of fundraisers this year, including our Friends for Life Walk. So our idea is to replace the Friends for Life Walk for this year with Sweat for Pets. So we're pretty excited about it. It's pretty much all virtual. And, whether you have a pet or just love animals, this summer it's time to get active and join our new Sweat for Pets virtual fundraiser. It's a 10-week campaign that kicks off June 22nd with a fun new challenge every week while encouraging your family, friends, and your coworkers to pledge their support. You could also create your own unique challenges in support of animals in your community, and that can be a really fun piece because you can use your own imagination, come up with some of your own cool ideas, and add those challenges in, or just use your own. But you will have the option. The other fun part is you can share your photos and videos of your challenges using social media, using the hashtag #SweatForPets, and you can challenge your family and friends to join in the fun as well. And this is a new event, so we're hoping to raise as much as possible and help us celebrate the animals in our lives and have some fun and help us raise some funds for animals in need.
We're taking our last break, but stay with us for our recap after this. Welcome back, and let's take a look at what made headlines today. Well, there are no new infections of COVID-19 to report in Muskoka. However, the issue of cottagers getting sick and being reported in other health units is still an issue both here and in Parry Sound. Speaking with reporter Tom Mangos earlier today, he said doctors in the Parry Sound area are concerned with the health unit's decision not to report these infections. Tourism is getting a major boost from the province to the tune of $350,000. Minister of Heritage Lisa MacLeod announced the funding over the weekend, with RTO 12 leading the charge on spending to promote all local business in Parry Sound and Muskoka. And the OSPCA is looking for your support with Sweat for Pets coming up soon. The local animal center also has plans to open soon, and we'll keep you updated on that reopening date as soon as it's announced. Well, that is Cogeco News. For more information on the program, you can head over to yourtv.tv, or, of course, you can connect with us on social media by searching Your TV Muskoka. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And remember to watch us live at 5, Monday to Thursday, from everyone here at Cogeco News. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.